8 de setembro. Nelia. Em concerto. Na Beira-Field, no Beck. Novo CD. Bilhetes já à venda nas suas casas comerciais portuguesas. O regresso. O concerto. Nelia.
Hi, I'm Nelia and you're watching Lusobeat.com. It all started when I was little. Well, I've been doing this since I was young. I have a recording of me singing on a cassette since I was 3. My mother knew that I wanted to sing. My mother knew I was into that musical thing. She was pretty much inspired too. She would have people over our house. She was an entertainer. In Portugal, there wasn't much entertainment going on. You couldn't go see a movie. You couldn't do much. So what people would do is actually go to each other's houses and play guitars, and you know how it is on weekends. They carried that over here, and they started ranchos folclóricos and danças de carnaval, and of course, I was involved too. I loved it. I had a great time with it. It was a great upbringing for me. I learned a lot through it. That actually started me off on that love of music and love to perform and love to be on stage, and I've always been comfortable on stage since I was little. I asked one day if my mother wouldn't mind that I'd like to join a band. She was very scared about it because, of course, as a girl wanting to join a band, it didn't look good. But she let me do it, which was really nice. And I joined the band Fantasy. I auditioned for them. I remember the very first song I sang for them was Baby. And they accepted me. It was 1989, I believe, we started this band. Well, I started in the band. And it's been on the up ever since. Yeah, Paul Sardinha, he was a producer of my first album. He's a great player and a great musician and songwriter. He lived up in Peabody, and it took me a year to do my first album, and that was going there 3 times a week and going there for like 6-7 hours. A lot of times I didn't do my vocal well. He used to send me home, and then I used to have to come back the next day. It was a very, very long process. But I think it came out pretty well because it was something a little different, and it kind of put me on the map as an artist. So I'm very grateful. Yep, Look What You Did in 1997 was done with Rob Leonardo in his studio. And most of the songs were written by Jack Sebastian and Paul Sardinha, and that actually did very well. That Under Loca was a big thing, Side of Me and Vida and Baila Baila, so we had a lot of good hits on that album. Emoções went a little bit on the Latin side, I think, which I was inspired because I started to travel a lot to tropical islands, things like that, so I got inspired that way. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to write the melodies. I wanted to write about what I wanted to say, and Tropicalia came out, but I was also traveling again to a lot of tropical islands, and this time was Cape Verde, and also I went to Punta Cana, and I went to Cancun. It was all tropical and Latin, so I got very, very inspired through that. Cesar Lima, he was in my band, and he's Cape Verdean. So just his playing and guitar influenced the whole music thing. And also Pepe played bass, and he's Cuban. So it's a big mix. What's a good one? I'd have to say, maybe, I'm going to say about 20, 25 maybe.
So with all your songs that you wrote, which one is your favorite song?
Oh my goodness, that's hard to ask an artist, I think, because every time we write something, we like what we do. I don't think I would put anything out that I didn't like. My most memorable performance was in Terceira, actually, only because when I got off the stage, it was the funniest thing that some lady kneeled in front of me and she kissed my hands. And I never understood that. And that's one thing that always sticks out in my head. You know, how people can actually become huge fans of yours, that they're so inspired by you. The very first one that I did was Beth Leal, when I first came out with my very first album, and that was at the Venus de Milo, and how, you know, I did a whole bunch of things. I made my outfit, and I did the French thing, and, you know, I went all out and got dancers, and we did a great show, and at the end of the show, I got a standing ovation, so I was very, very proud of myself. Oh, it was a great experience. They're great guys. You know, Costa has a lot of talent. I love his music. Milton Cesar, what a great man, great heart. He's always well accepting. He lets you sit near him. He wants to know about you. You talk to him. He's a very, very warm person. I love his music. being on stage, you know, and kind of like having control of what you're doing, or having a like a confident presence. People would get the wrong impression of what type of person you were. Either, you know, you were cocky, you were snobby, you know. Certain ways that you dressed would be like, oh, you know, she's a little crazy, you know, trashy, things like that. And people actually would judge me without meeting me. And I think the people that met me, you know, that would speak to me would understand that, you know, I'm just a typical person, just like anybody else. I have, I think, a really good personality. I get along with everybody, and the way I dress and the way I sing and the way I move on stage, it's just, it's art. It's like, it's what I do as an artist. But it was hard. It was hard to take some insults that weren't true. A lot of rumors that went around that, of course, hit my parents, and my parents wouldn't speak to me for a couple of days, and I wasn't sure why, and it would be because of a rumor. And but that got, you know, that passed quickly. I would have talks with my parents, and it'd get a lot. But it was okay. I'm here now, and got over it and moved on. I don't listen to radio. Only because the fact that when I was writing the album, we wouldn't listen to radio, nor would we get inspired by any other kind of music. We wanted to make something totally original. So I got used to really not listening to radio, which is weird. Here I am, an artist who sings and dances and stuff, and I don't listen to radio. If something would come on, you know, once in a while in the car, I would put on the radio or something in the music. It wouldn't be anything specific, any kind of music. I'm pretty much open to anything now. Was one really bizarre one, and not it wasn't offensive or anything, but one day I was signing autographs, and this guy comes up to me on the side, and he said, "Oh, Nelia, you have a lot of fans." And I said, "Yeah, a lot of people came out. It was wonderful." As I'm signing my autographs, he asked me, "Well, you know, Nelia, do you know who your biggest fan is?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Everybody's a fan." And he said, "Well, I'm your biggest fan." And I said, "Really? Why are you my biggest fan?" And he said, "Well, because of this." And he showed me his arm, and he had a tattoo of my face on his arm. So that was in a way freaky, but yet in a way, wow, somebody has my face on their arm. So that was a very, very weird situation, but a great person. I see him all the time. So yeah, that was very strange.
So we hope to see him at the new show.
We hope to see him at the new show. You better go. Benfica. Summertime. No doubt. 90 degrees and humid. That's my favorite.
Thank you very much for taking the time for the Lusobeat audience, and thank you very much for inviting me here to Nova Art Studios. We wish you lots of luck on your new album, lots of great success.
Thank you, and I wish you lots of success. I think you're doing a great job, and I think Lusobeat is like blowing up. Thank you so much for the interview, and I want to tell everybody, go to the show, make sure you're there. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Thank you, Jimmy Jam.
Não pensas que fazes comigo o que tens feito com outras por aí. Para com esse teu jeito de me dar castigo.